Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to chair the concluding G20 summit virtually today. India and Australia recommit themselves to empowering the Quad for regional good. Condemn terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. Campaigning for assembly elections in Rajasthan and Telangana reaches feverish pitch. Political parties holding election rallies and roadshows. ED seizes over 751 crore rupees assets in National Herald money laundering case. Rescue operations continue in collapsed Silkyara Tunnel in Uttarkashi. The virtual G20 summit is going to be held today under the chairmanship of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Briefing media on the summit, G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant said this will be the second time that the Prime Minister will be hosting the leaders of the G20 in a span of 2.5 months. He said this demonstrates the power of India and leadership of Mr. Modi at the global level.
This virtual summit will be the second time the Prime Minister will be hosting the leaders of the G20 within a span of just over 2.5 months. This is something very rare and rather exceptional. In addition to all this, as you are all aware, the Prime Minister has hosted 2 sessions of the Voice of Global Summit this year, which was coordinated by the Foreign Secretary. So actually, India has held 4 such meetings in a single year with the participation of over 150 world leaders, which clearly demonstrates the convening power of India and the leadership of the Prime Minister at the global level.
Mr. Khan said that during the closing session of the New Delhi G20 summit on 10th of September, the Prime Minister had announced that India would be hosting a virtual G20 leaders summit prior to the conclusion of India's G20 presidency. He said the virtual summit will take forward key outcomes and action points from the New Delhi summit, as well as review developments since then.
Prime Minister had suggested to the G20 leaders that the leaders would reconvene virtually towards the end of India's G20 presidency period to take forward the guidance provided by the participating leaders in their interventions and also give an impetus to implementing the summit's outcome.
India and Australia have recommitted themselves to empowering the Quad as a partnership for regional and global good. A joint statement issued after the second India-Australia 2+2 ministerial dialogue held in New Delhi on Monday said that both sides committed to continuing to work effectively through diplomacy, defence and development activities. The two sides also condemned terrorism in all its forms and manifestations, including international movement of terrorists, and agreed to work together to take concerted action. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held the second India-Australia 2+2 Foreign and Defence Ministerial Dialogue with their Australian counterparts Richard Marles and Penny Wong. The Indian side appreciated Australia's strong support for India's G20 presidency. The joint statement added that both sides reaffirmed their commitment to continue to work together on global issues and shared priorities in areas such as maritime safety and security, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, blue economy and clean energy. The ministers discussed developments in the Indo-Pacific, Middle East and Ukraine and expressed deep concern over the war in Ukraine and its tragic humanitarian consequences. They reiterated their support for a comprehensive, just and durable peace in Ukraine that upholds all the purposes and principles of the UN Charter. Noting horrific terrorist attacks against Israel, both sides reaffirmed that they stand with Israel against terrorism and call for adherence to international humanitarian law, including the protection of civilians. They called for the immediate release of all remaining hostages. In Rajasthan, the election campaign has now reached its peak for the Rajasthan Assembly elections, as just 2 days are left for campaigning. 20 star campaigners of BJP will hold public meetings at about 50 places today. BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold public meetings in Sagwara and Kotari of Jahazpur. BJP party president JP Nadda will hold public meetings in Dantaramagar and Dausa, while Mr. Amit Shah will address election rallies in Jetram, Jalore and Raniwada. On the other hand, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi will address public meetings in Rajakheda of Dholpur, Nadwai of Bharatpur and Gangapur city, while Ms. Priyanka Gandhi will hold election rallies in Churu and Shahpura of Jaipur. Congress leader and Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot will hold rallies for party candidates at various places in Tonk, Pali and Jodhpur. Along with the tainted candidates, the number of millionaire leaders is also increasing in the assembly elections being held in Rajasthan. Out of 1,875 candidates, 651 are crore-patis this time. The average assets of the candidates in this election is rupees 3 crore 12 lakh, whereas in the last election it was rupees 2 crore 12 lakh. This information has been revealed in the report prepared by the Association for Democratic Reforms and Election Watch on the basis of analysis of the affidavits of the candidates.
Among the crorepati candidates, there are 160 candidates of BJP and 149 candidates of Congress. 8 candidates do not have any property. Congress candidate from Churu, Rafiq Mandelia, is the richest candidate. He has assets worth rupees 166 crore. He is followed by BJP candidate from Nimka Thana, Prem Singh Bajor, whose assets are worth rupees 123 crore. Similarly, this time 236 candidates have stated that serious criminal cases are pending against them. Among these, 42 candidates of BJP, 34 of Congress, 24 of Rashtriya Loktantrik Party, 15 of AAP, 12 of CPM and 8 of BSP. Jitendra Dwivedi, Akashvani News, Jaipur.
Political parties are holding election rallies and roadshows for Rajasthan and Telangana assembly polls. In Telangana, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and BRS Chief K. Chandrasekhar Rao are among the top leaders who held electioneering in various constituencies in the state yesterday. The home voting began yesterday in all 119 constituencies across the state. The home voting facility will be completed by 27th of this month. A total of 28,057 people have opted for home voting, with the highest number of 757 voters in Siddipet and the lowest of 11 at Bahadurpura constituencies. We have more from our correspondent.
For the first time in Telangana, the home voting of over 28,000 electors has begun yesterday. Across the state, all parties planned public meetings, roadshows, corner meetings and meet and greet programs for their top leadership in coming few days. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP senior leaders Amit Shah and JP Nadda, Congress leaders Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Mallikarjun Kharge and BJP LA Janasena party leader and actor Pawan Kalyan, BSP leader Mayawati and CPIM leaders Sitaram Yechuri and Brinda Karat are among them who scheduled to campaign in next few days. The leaders will focus on Greater Hyderabad in the last 3 days of campaign, with major contestants planning mega rallies and road shows. Lakshmi, Akashvani News, Hyderabad.
The Enforcement Directorate ED has attached assets worth over 751 crore rupees belonging to Associated Journals Limited AJL as part of its money laundering probe into the National Herald case. In a social media post, the agency said the investigation reveals that Associated Journals Limited AJL is in possession of proceeds of crime in the form of immovable properties spread across many cities of India such as Delhi, Mumbai and Lucknow to the tune of 661.69 crore rupees. ED also said the young Indian YI is in possession of proceeds of crime to the tune of 90.21 crore rupees in the form of investment in equity shares of AJL. The agency said a provisional order has been issued under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002 against the newspaper's publisher Associated Journals Limited and its holding company Young Indian. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Rescue operations are underway on a war footing to safely evacuate 41 trapped workers in the collapsed Silkyara Tunnel in Uttarkashi. Member of the National Disaster Management Authority, Lieutenant General Syed Ata Hasnan today said that government is making all-out efforts to rescue workers as early as possible. Addressing a press conference in New Delhi, Mr. Syed Ata Hasnan said that the situation is quite challenging, but all necessary steps have been taken by the multiple authorities, including NDRF and Indian Army, who are working there.
Now, as far as the efforts are going on rescue work, 5 जगह पर ये कोशिश चल रही है. मैं आपको ये बता सकता हूं कि जो सबसे फोकस्ड एफर्ट है वो हॉरिजॉन्टल ड्रिलिंग बाय ए ऑगर. ऑगर एक इक्विपमेंट होता है जो रोटेशनल छेद करने में, मतलब टनल, छोटा टनल बनाने में सक्सेसफुल होता है, उसको अपनाया गया है.
Huge response is being received from the public for Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, and people are proactively participating in the program in the tribal districts of the Andhra Pradesh state. The IEC vans and government officials are creating awareness on central government welfare schemes like Ujjwala Yojana, PM Mudra Yojana, Startup India, Ayushman Bharat, PM Awas Yojana, Swachh Bharat Mission, Jan Aushadhi, Digital Payment, Khelo India, PM Gharib Kalyan Anna Yojana, Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, PM Poshan Abhiyan, Jal Jeevan Mission, etc., to the tribal people of Alluri, Sitaramaraju and Parvatipuram, Manyam districts and enrolling the beneficiaries. The program covered the Ainada village of Paderu Mandal, Padmapuram, Baski Gram Panchayats in Araku Valley Mandal, Madicharala and Busigudam villages of Rampachodavaram Mandal in Alluri Sitaramaraju district, and in Parvatipuram Manyam district, Iridi and Pedkarja villages of Gumma Lakshmipuram Mandal. Veteran Hollywood actor and producer Michael Douglas will address a masterclass at the 54th International Film Festival of India in Goa on the 28th of this month. The legendary American actor will also be honoured with the Satyajit Ray Lifetime Achievement Awards at the closing ceremony of IFFI the same day. More from our correspondent.
Over the years, Masterclass has emerged as one of the most sought after events at IFFI. It provides an opportunity to the IFFI delegates to learn from the best in their fields. The Masterclass at this year's IFFI started yesterday. Vijay Setupati, Madhur Bhandakar, KK Menon and Babil Khan will conduct Masterclass today. During the 9-day festival, Bollywood stars like Rani Mukherjee, Vidya Balan, Nawazuddin Siddiqui and Pankaj Tripathi will address Masterclasses at IFFI. Masterclasses are being held at the newly renovated Kala Academy building in Panaji with Ashok Shukla, Asunyo, Akashvani News, Goa.
Batter Suryakumar Yadav will lead the men in blue in the 5-match series of T20 internationals against Australia beginning tomorrow. The first match will be played in Vishakhapatnam. And now, for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to VC Pramod.
Thank you, Sunil. With rescuers finally establishing video communication with 41 workers trapped inside the Uttarkashi tunnel, Hindustan Times writes, light at the end of tunnel. Workers safe amid operation. The Asian Age quotes NDMA as saying that horizontal drilling is best for Uttarkashi rescue. Netanyahu, Hamas chief hint at Gil on Gaza truce, headlines The Hindu. In a gesture of solidarity with India in its fight against terrorism, Israel labels LET as a terror group, reports The Pioneer. As air quality in Delhi NCR continues to be very poor, the Supreme Court's suggestion of stopping paddy MSP for farmers burning stubble is the top story in the Tribune. And finally, the Times of India relates the story of how, despite being injured in an accident in Pune, racing against time, Dr. Sanjeev Jadhav carried out a life-saving lung transplant operation in Chennai, without which the patient would have died. And with that, it's back to you, Sunil.
Thank you, Pramod. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to chair the concluding G20 summit virtually today. India and Australia recommit themselves to empowering the Quad for regional good. Condemn terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. Campaigning for assembly elections in Rajasthan and Telangana reaches feverish pitch. Political parties holding election rallies and roadshows. ED seizes over 751 crore rupees assets in National Herald money laundering case. And rescue operations continue in collapsed Silkyara Tunnel in Uttarkashi. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.